society is how it treats its women and girls. It's women and girls. We create the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women. We can fight. I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me. Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school. Of any society is how it treats its women and girls. Won't stand still. Your story is...
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-host Donna is on her way, and she's on Zoom.
Coming in.
Yeah, she's coming in. So if you want to give us a call during the program, you can call 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. So how you doing today, Donna?
You know what? I'm doing good.
Good.
I am thought I could do a 9:30 meeting, and here I am.
So we have various things to talk about. Number one, it is Juneteenth today. For those of you who don't know what that is, here she comes. So Donna just walked in, and so we're talking about the Juneteenth holiday today, and I'm sure a lot of MAGAs are clutching their pearls and twisting their little red hats. So, Donna, do you want to explain what Juneteenth is, or do you want me to take a stab at it? Oops, wait. Okay,
all right,
go ahead.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically without, because you guys are going to hear a lot of stuff about Juneteenth today, and I don't want to be redundant, but there were slaves in Texas that didn't get the word until quite a bit of time later.
2.5 years.
Yeah, quite a bit. And because of that, they celebrated on June the 19th when they found out. And so there's been a woman who's been working really hard to, commemorate that day. There have always been big celebrations in Texas. We used to go to Juneteenth celebrations when I remember going to my first Juneteenth celebration maybe in my mid-teens in Jacksonville. That's Duval County, Florida.
Duval.
Yes. So that, the idea is that it's Freedom Day. It's the day that people who were, deprived of some time of their lives found out that they were going to be free. And it's been a thing that's grown. I am not I don't go out and have soul food and red drink, which they said comes from the hibiscus tea that Africans had brought, leaves along with them. So it's always this thing is you got to have a red drink if you're having soul food.
I should think Kool-Aid is doing the job, right?
Kool-Aid, yeah, definitely doing a lot of jobs with public health.
Not for much longer, because RFK Jr. is going to take that red Kool-Aid out of y'all's hands. Yeah.
So... yeah, that's the gist of the idea. Where I sit with Juneteenth is the same place I sit with just the other one, Kwanzaa. Right? I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the day off for people who probably need one. Adding another day out of the year that people get to not have to work. But I would prefer to have my heritage, intact.
Right.
Family trees, family Bibles, and things like that. And I also like to know what my family's, what our European friends, the crests, the shields, the tartans, and knowing where you came from, that would really, I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but none of this connects me
to your real family.
Right.
Okay.
Kwanzaa doesn't
Yes.
do it. You got a menorah mixed in there with some colors. You light candles.
Yes,
and you have
yes,
7
yes.
days and Kujichagulia and Ujamaa, and it's to me it feels like if you lose an original part, and then you have to order the universal remote.
Right.
For your TV.
Right. And
Everybody
ain't no
gets that.
Amazon to pick it from. Right.
So, I'm kind of like, I stay in the cut on this one. And I've never actually been to a Juneteenth celebration in Tampa.
I didn't know. Do they have Juneteenth celebrations
Of course.
in Tampa?
Of course.
Okay.
They have one big one. And I think over at Ray James Stadium, but I never I don't go to gatherings in Tampa as a general thing. I just don't. It's with you. You always will drag me into some stuff, right?
Well, works the same way on your side.
So that's the thing with me in Juneteenth. It's not, I know I'm blackity black, but I want the original parts. Yeah.
But yeah, oddly enough, Donna and I are both huge introverts, and we just, when we're in public, we have to speak, and so we learned how to cover it. So that's like, we'll make plans to do something, and one of us will text the other. It's like, you really want to do this today? It's like,
and I do think that my tendency to not social anxieties, some of that too comes from being a nerdy black kid. Mm-hmm. And when you're a nerdy black kid, people think that you're crazy. And
same with nerdy white kids, just to because I was always like on the fringe of whatever circle was gathering.
But I was guilty of something else. Like I've seen that that archetype in the movies, like the nerdy white kid. But I was guilty of something else besides being a nerd and not being cool. I was guilty of not being black enough.
You weren't black enough.
Right, which is why, as dark as I am, right, there's no ambiguity in my African descent. You can look into my face and it is there. But I wasn't acting enough. Now, a lot of people talk about having bitterness and trauma from that. Mm-hmm. I don't. Black culture is like one of the only things that we've been allowed to keep, the stuff that we've made up along the way since, the Middle Passage. But that is another thing that I think adds to my not wanting to go out and not going into certain spaces too.
Yeah. It's a challenge sometimes. Because I've seen it firsthand when we go into a space that's majority white. We had gone to some event at the Tampa Theater, and the table space was quite limited. And we went and put our stuff down next to this, I'd say 60-ish white couple. And, they pretty much packed up and left as soon as we got there. And it's like, really? In the year of our Lord, 2023?
So, maybe slavery's over. I don't know.
Well,
maybe we need a revision on this one, because I think that there are quite a number of people that are struggling with things they shouldn't be struggling with, as far as their freedom and agency goes in 2022.
Yeah. Well, and
25.
And just because you celebrate Juneteenth, it doesn't mean that Black people got equal rights. I mean, it's a way to acknowledge that finally they were no longer enslaved, but that didn't give them equal rights.
No, and I think no longer enslaved is relative as well, right? The 13th Amendment, Jim Crow, Black codes, and redlining, and all of the things that came later, separate but equal, served to separate communities that were being exploited for the wealth of other communities, and then told that there was something wrong with them because they didn't have the wealth. They were just wealth generators. They were not wealth partakers. Mm-hmm. To a large degree, I think that is true today. The extent to which certain groups of people are allowed entree into an opportunity. The opportunity, like saying that someone is lazy because they're not doing something, is a separate conversation from saying that we've barred the entry for 98% of you.
Right.
And that DEI thing is making it worse. I think that we're all affirmed in a certain way, like the modern times and what we're able to do because of what the sacrifices that our ancestors and some people who are still living, right? We say ancestors, but that hadn't been that long ago, right? Everybody that participated in that is not an ancestor. So what I would say about any of these holidays, whether it is Indigenous Peoples Day, Women's Day, the Juneteenth holiday, that just take that time, because there's a lot of information out there, to go and take a look and see at some of the histories of our fellow Americans that have been pushed to the periphery and not celebrated with the same vigor, zeal, and appreciation as some other accomplishments. And I've seen a lot of really terrible things online, people talking about Juneteenth being a made-up holiday, the land of make-believe. It's inevitably white men that are doing this.
Yes.
Quite a bit of Hispanic men aiding, as has been the case over the last several years. So that's my Juneteenth story. I know everybody's depressed now. Maybe slavery's over. I don't know.
Can you imagine that? I think to myself, okay, these poor folks in Texas, I think it was Galveston, continuing to be enslaved 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And it's like, I would have been so angry to find out that, oh yeah, how do people in good conscience do? Well, I guess there is no good conscience.
You're going to go in a rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Because you already know the answer to every question that you're asking.
Exactly. So if you want to join the discussion, give us a call, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. So for those of you who are celebrating it, happy Juneteenth. And what's next on our agenda? Because once again, we have an abundance of...
So there's Iran.
Yes.
There's David Hogg. There is the drama with Josh Weil. I haven't read all of that stuff, but remember back in November. Let me start from the top. Remember when they were having these special elections in CDs 1 and 6?
Yes.
And then afterwards, they both lost. And then there was some party loyalists were saying things like, oh, well, they closed the point spread. Usually it's a 30% gap. Well, they were already doing some terrible things in Washington at that point. So we were saying, hey, you and I, we're saying we're not going to put our mouth on these guys because we don't know. And the whole story wasn't being told,
right.
Remember? And so there was 25% of donor money that was taken. And there was an article in the New York Times. There were several articles in Florida Politics. And there was a lot of smoke.
Right.
Okay. But there was no fire. There wasn't anything to say. There was accusations. Oh, they did this. There was this woman who said this. But nobody came out and said, here's a mugshot. Here's what these guys did. It was really criminal. And so you don't want to get into the slander libel category.
Right.
We didn't know. There were a lot of articles that said things.
Yes.
We shared those things, but we didn't go further than that.
Right.
Now there are mugshots. I didn't even plan that. I didn't even plan it that way.
Mugshots, the gift that keeps on giving.
There are women saying that they were not treated properly. That's a deep hole. And there's proof, there's evidence, there's crimes that have been committed. There's more information about what happened to the money. It's bad for Florida because there are candidates here who've done very well. They're trying to continue to raise money. This may stop some of the national money from coming into quality candidates that are working to flip or hold a seat in Florida.
Ah, okay. So let's see. We have a phone call from Sister Julie in Tampa. Hi, Sister Julie.
Good morning. I just wanted to call in because today's Juneteenth, and my regular activities are slightly altered today. And what I'm doing in honor of Juneteenth is I'm beyond a day of reflection on American history and the ending of slavery and everything that constitutes. I'm making, funny you mentioned, I'm making hibiscus tea at home and some okra stew on rice. And, I'm celebrating in these little ways. That's just what I do for my home life. And just reaching out to you to say thank you to both of you for what you do on Thursdays, the Surly Voices. You talk about things people hesitate to open up. Like, I don't know why people tend to choose to be safe and silent, but to me that's not safety. That's just suppressing topics we do need to talk about. So I thank you, and that's it.
Well, thank you very much, Sister Julie. Thank you for calling.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, we've covered this topic on several occasions. How, when certain people get loud about injustice, another quarter of the people says, "Oh, don't say anything about that. That's not polite." Politeness is a tool of the patriarchy. If you don't like what's going on, you need to lift your voice. We had over the weekend 2 events going on simultaneously, pretty much. The Trump Grand Military Parade.
Oh, yes. Yes, we should have started with that.
Well, it is Juneteenth, so...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I already told y'all why. Sorry.
So, the Trump Military Parade, which he was hoping would be some kind of goose-stepping, lockstep, mighty show of force, and the Army comes along, and it's like Mardi Gras parade or something,
It wasn't even as well attended as the Mardi Gras.
Right. Yeah, it was okay. It was a Mardi Gras parade without the crowds.
You're not gonna make me spit coffee on my pants. You better stop it.
So, and oh my gosh, the pictures tell the whole story with Donald Trump sitting up there looking like, angry and sullen. And just you could see the smoke coming out of his ears.
I think he was angry and confused. Like, he wanted to know how come these weren't these burgeoning crowds, right? Pregnant with anticipation to see his visage.
Yeah, where are all them June 6 people on the 14th?
And I saw his face and I was like, boy, what is you doing? Oh, no, baby, what is you doing?
You straighten that up. Okay,
trying to have a North Korean birthday parade,
right?
Replete with, something that would make the lieutenants of the Third Reich tremble.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy, nobody came, and people that were there, they were sitting on their phones. They were talking to each other. It was like he wasn't the main character,
right?
Which probably was why he was looking sullen.
Well, but it was the Army's 250th birthday. And that was what originally was going to be celebrated. But then Trump came along and said, "Oh, well, hey, it's my birthday too. Let's have a military parade," which was always a bad idea. In the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That price tag, though. $45 million.
$45 million.
There are people
like
right
Dr.
now
Evil
that are hanging on the edge of having their life together at all. Mm-hmm. That's $700. would change the direction for them.
Right.
Or $2,000. If those people vote, they hear a number like that, it's going to be very upsetting.
So, yeah, I haven't been over to tip my toe into the parish homepage, but
Yeah.
I had to get out of it because it was like, I can't stand the ignorance anymore. And
And people were crying about My Sweet 16 on MTV and those birthday parties being extravagant.
Right.
But I bet none of them cost $45 million.
not a one.
Of other people's money, not your
Yes.
parents' money, but other people's money,
Tax
people who are struggling.
payers. Yes. So yeah, it was not the huge show of military support. So in order to make up for that, and at the same time, it was also no kings on the same day.
That was awesome.
And so, I mean, I don't even know how to estimate how many people there were. Just in Tampa alone, thousands of people protesting. So, do we think that played a role in Trump getting on the war bus with Israel and Iran?
That whole thing is so unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a geo-global political expert by any means. But that war just seems super unnecessary to me. I feel like because I think Trump's being president is some of the reason that people are, they have no limits. It's like anything goes. If you're the kind of person that knows that the global police aren't watching right now, you can do anything. It's what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Africa that nobody talks about. Since it's Juneteenth, though, we can do that. But I don't think that's on the topic. Nobody talks about what's happening. And even people who are appreciative of people, Africans and South Africans particularly, some West African countries, lots of people that are living in the diaspora, Africans and America and the Caribbean. There was a lady that I saw in D.C., she had a whole little stand that she had made in front of the Supreme Court a couple weeks ago, and it said, "Bring Kilmar home." Right? So I don't know. I don't know, Liz. What do you think?
I think it's absolutely got something to do with it because he's now got to his psyche has been damaged because he didn't have this fabulous military style Korean military style march, and then I think even the Fox viewers were disappointed and saying to themselves, wait a minute, $45 million? I don't think so. So I think he feels like, and this is just pure speculation, and let me give this early disclaimer. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF Tampa.
So that occasional we that you might hear me say, I'm working to clean that up. I think I'm halfway, most of the way there.
You're a lot better, yeah.
Okay. Though that we does not imply the radio station. This is a very politically diverse space.
Royal we.
Yes, it's the royal. It's not the royal we. So that there's that. David Hogg. What do we have about him? You put that in the list last night.
That was Maria that did that, and then she doesn't show up. Let's circle back though, because talking about Africa reminds me that we never did touch upon these poor white South African folks who got carted over and given asylum in the United States while the administration is deporting anybody who's not white. And we never did talk about that, but all that is sheer fiction. So the Afrikaners, that's how they go. But anyway, it's scary to see the kind of standoff that Israel and Iran are in. They keep bombing each other. But I think back and I know a lot of listeners can identify with this. Back in the Bushy years when the weapons of mass destruction, remember that? Mm-hmm. And we got sucked into the Iraq War. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Trump campaigned on the premise that he was anti-war and for peaceful, coexistence. And now he's like getting in the middle of it, and he is not a master statesman, okay?
And no, he is not a military mind.
Right.
Either, and nor does he listen to them. He fired most of the ones, the real ones from the Pentagon. And so now we have the uncle, the gropey uncle, who has too many beers.
Yes.
Right? Pentagon Pete.
Pentagon Pete.
So he's approving the Iran plan, but he's not made a final decision. That's one report. He gave Iran an ultimatum, but made no final decision. Taco-ish activities.
Of course. That's all he does is taco. Yeah.
Okay. He presses aides on whether bunker buster plan to bomb Iran will work. And Trump privately approves, this is a Wall Street Journal, Trump privately approved of attack plans for Iran, but has withheld final order. Very similar to the BBC headline. And the Reuters is saying that he's keeping the world guessing.
Well, and again, that's the shuffle and smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. And it's like, just sit down, dang.
Nope, won't sit down. Gotta see me.
Yep.
Look at me.
Me.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? I have people in my immediate environment like that. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it has given me, I haven't had that in a while, right? Like I'm semi-retired. And I would say 80% of the time I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing. Mm-hmm. Okay? And nobody was bothering me and I wasn't bothering anyone. And now people are bothering me. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to looking, that sofa's looking good. I'm thinking about semi-retirement again. But I may not have to make the decision because if this continues, we won't have to make any long-term decisions about our lives.
Right.
But very unnecessary. The time that we're having right now, and I know the United States is not the world, right? So there's a politic between Iran and Israel, and there's always been some enmity there. And I do realize that the United States, but people in the United States looking at the $45 million parades and the possibility of us funding, because we're already funding.
Right.
We've already funded most of the bombs.
We funded everybody.
Yeah. We funded everybody's foolishness.
Yeah.
So the United States has. So I'm wondering now what people out there who are worried about Medicaid, worried about Medicare, worried about Social Security, worried about the IRS, worried about taxes. How are you feeling about seeing the United States get involved so far from home and at home in D.C.? Right. We saw with the parade. What do you think about that? I mean, could somebody call me and tell me, we got people on the line?
Yeah.
All right, let's do
So
it.
give us, if you want to tell us what you think about that, give us a call, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. All right, so our first caller is Gary in Largo. Hi, Gary.
Hey, thank you for your great show, as always. I called about another topic I think you'll find relevant, but to go to what you're just asking, I see Donnie as now a puppet of the world's two leading genocidists, Vladdy the Laddie Putin and Bibi Nutty Yahoo. So Trump knows how to align himself with the worst people, and that is a shame for our country.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
And of course, they're going to spend money.
Billions.
On, giving, well, we're already giving Israel, I mean, what are we giving them? $6 billion a year?
$5 or $6 billion, yes.
Right. Well, we gave that to Israel, but we've also funded Iran as well. And so it's like everything that's going on there was brought to you by the United States of America. So,
and Iran is another country.
Along with the systemic racism of the MAGA GOP and Trump, it was just a fit of jealousy that he canceled Obama's wonderful agreement with Iran that was working. Mm-hmm. So there wouldn't have been any worry, although Bibi Nutty Yahoo said 10 years ago, he said, Iran's within 1 week of having a nuclear weapon. Wow. I guess 1 week is 10 years now.
Yeah. Well, once again, weapons of mass destruction. Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
and the weapons of mass destruction. But let me go on to the other topic.
Okay.
I don't know if you already got to it because I just tuned in. But you see that they forced the poor dead woman in Georgia.
Yes. I'm going to cover that in a few minutes, Gary.
Yeah, and let's just say that when the Supreme Court ruled against trans rights and said in their ruling that the gender dysphoria industry is motivated by profit, well, the little tiny 9-ounce fetus that was born from the dead lady, whose basically body was used as a fetus chamber against the will of her own family, that will generate about $2 million worth of preemie care. So I don't believe that they're pro-life, and we must remember the Minnesota assassin was pro-life.
Yeah. They're not pro-life, they're pro-birth. So anyway, we got folks behind you, Gary, so thank you for calling and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
All right, Joe in Venice. Hi, Joe.
Good morning, ladies.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Okay. Just a couple little comments. Netanyahu went into Iran because he's facing a no-confidence vote that will dissolve his government. That's why he decided now to go into Iran, to consolidate his power. Okay, that's my little spiel on him.
Okay.
Trump will do anything. Our President Trump wants to be the most powerful man in the world, the richest man in the world, and the most important man in the world. And he'll do anything to obtain those goals.
I agree, yeah.
Just we got to realize that, and we all talk about upcoming elections. I don't know. All right, let's see, what else do I got? We have the DJ Spaceship says, smile hard on purpose. And I've been doing a little experiment. I'm on the road all the time, and when I meet somebody, I smile at them.
Ah.
I have to make an intentional smile, and I usually get a smile back.
Ah, very
So
good.
I think that if we can practice that, maybe that'll help a little bit in our stressful political situation.
All right. Thanks so much,
Okay.
Joe.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
So I think this is an important email. I like to be called in, and this does it very well. I don't have the name of the person. It says that you all are getting the time frame wrong. June 19th, 1865, when the Union troops came to Galveston, Texas, to tell the slaves they were free. It was only 2 months and 10 after they became free. And it was not ratified till 12/6/1865. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't free the slaves in the South because Lincoln was not the president of the Confederate States. It's the same thing as Trump stated he's building the wall and Mexico is paying for it. He doesn't control Mexico. Excuse me. Just like Lincoln did not control the South. No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I just believe that history should be facts only. Plusby truly believe that slavery needs to be taught in school and true history of it with no whitewashing or any other type of washing it. Okay.
Well, it's always been taught in a whitewashed fashion.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll look into your comments and see, do fact checking on our own. Let's talk to Stephen in St. Petersburg. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, I got a question for you this morning. If you're an Iranian woman and you live in Iran, would you be cheering Israel on? Yes or no?
No.
I mean, I'm
You're
black
sure
and I
about
cheer
that?
for America, so.
Have you studied what women have gone through?
Yeah, since the
course.
Iranian revolutions, yeah,
Of
sure.
course, yeah.
What women's rights are in Iran?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're aware.
But
it was a
and
different
that's
country before
exactly why I told you the choice I did is because they are following the laws of their country, and they don't want their homes blown up. So
Do you think it's, here's an idea, that this is a fact that is done in Iran and other Islamic countries. It is legal, and anybody can look this up, to kill your wife or your daughter. It's called a legal kill if they question the teachings of Islam or they convert and believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, I got one for you since we're going to do that. I got one for you. Here in the United States, a person can go to their hearing and be in compliance with the law. And on the way out of their hearing, they can be literally snatched up and deported to a place they've never been while their nursing infant is ripped from their teeth. So, yeah, we're in competition for some of these violations.
Yeah,
you know,
our hands are not clean here, Stephen. So, I got to let you go because we got Wendy on the line, and we're going to talk to her. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right. Wendy in Seminole.
Woohoo! Finally got on the air. I don't
turn up.
Sorry, I'm so glad you hung on.
I got an answer to your question. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Although I'm kind of in a limited position, but let me just tell you that I am among the great unwashed. I'm 72, 73 years old, and my sustenance, I depend on Medicaid and Social Security, which my huge Social Security check is $1,000 a month.
Oh,
so it's rough out here. But I do have, and I don't get like food stamps. I get some medical. I get some kind of medical thing so that my medical bills aren't, which is an asset. And I live with my daughter, who is not getting rich, but she's doing the best she can, and so she gets to claim when Trump got elected to the end of the world as we know it. And then all this stuff came out, and it was stupid, but now he's throwing it out. He's throwing out one shiny bullet after another shiny bullet, and even though I know they won't really take effect immediately, I am struggling with keeping myself out of a depression. And I went to the No King's Day thing in Largo. I'm going to cry. And it was so beautiful. There were so many people, and it was lovely. And I had this, and I thought, this is it. This is it. And then, he comes out and says, oh, we're going to cost us, I don't know how many billions of dollars. Maybe he won't get to go to the golf course next month or whatever. And what's it going to do? I'm very depressed. If you guys can make me smile, I want to break into another song. Make me smile.
No, think about this. Think about all of the people, a lot of young people too, like people in their late 20s and 30s. There's one girl named Deja Fox, DeJaaFoxx, I think. At least that's what I saw on social media ad. And she looks to be about 25, 26 years old. And she is just wearing some denim pants. And she's talking about running for office and wanting to make change. And people not saddling her with choices for which they won't be around to experience. Well, that's an exciting. So there's some exciting candidates that are out there. And there's so many seats that are in the flip range. And every day, Wendy, more seats move into the flip category. So I think that at a minimum, I don't think we're going to have to stop listening to I'm the greatest. I think we're still going to have that voice in our world. I think that we're going to hear more from a Congress that gets some fangs.
Yeah, because the ones up there now are toothless. So anyway, thank you for calling, Wendy, and thank you for listening.
We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are we going into emails or doing Greg?
Let's do Greg first, and then we'll do emails.
Okay.
Hi, Greg in Tampa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Nice show. It's really informative. Listen, I want to touch on the No Kings March because I was there. And
please do.
Yeah, this is in Tampa, or I'm sorry, St. Pete.
St. Pete.
Pinellas County. And I can only swear that the midterms are going to be a blowout. I mean, the energy that happened there, the people that were there from every walk of life, I mean, it was a real eye-opener.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're headed for exactly what we want. I hear there's a lady that's found internet fame. She was on her lawn watching the protesters go by, having a glass of champagne and wearing her fur coat. Like,
oh my God, how you wear a fur coat?
It was for the gram, right? And then she was like, "You're doing well, darlings. You're doing fabulous." Like, everybody wants this thing to stop. Even rich people are like, "That's enough. Now that's too far."
Right.
Everyone's in on it. And you felt that at the thing, huh?
It was great. And I'll tell you, a lot of people were really creative with their signs. I mean, it's the flavor of the moment. And I think people are really, really mad. And, I mean, we have good right to be.
Good right.
So, absolutely.
How do you feel about the $45 million price tag and more bombs being purchased with our tax dollars while they tighten the belt loop on the most vulnerable Americans?
Like
Wendy.
Well,
I can tell you one thing. Yeah, well, I can tell you, I'm a former Republican.
Okay.
And here's the thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm a Democrat.
Yes.
Major way. So I think that his ego is probably, bruised, without a doubt. Because you could just tell. I mean, he knew it, but he didn't want to admit it, that it was a failure. And, but I'm proud of the troops. I have somebody in my family who's ultra-conservative who did serve in the military, and he was going on about how the troops weren't crisp and they weren't walking in unison.
They were protesting in the only way they could.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. Oh, you know the best part about it? When they were playing "Fortunate Son," which is a song from back in the day. Mm-hmm. Back in the day. Yeah. It's a song about average folks getting sent off to war while the wealthier folks stayed home. They were not the fortunate sons, the folks that went to war. So
right, you're the last one of your name. You have to stay home. You're the breadwinner. You have to stay home.
Right.
We got a lot of emails here. But
Thank you.
Go on.
Oh,
just one more thing. I'd have to have my hat off to WMNF because I had it on the radio while I was driving there, and while I was passing the crowd slowly, he also played For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. It was pretty unique.
Well, WMNF always keeps its finger on the pulse of this community, right?
Yes.
It's a one-stop shopping for that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for calling,
We
Greg.
appreciate you, Greg.
My pleasure. Have a great one.
You
Keep
too.
listening.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm going to go to these emails here. Someone said, I have to read the whole email before I can say it to y'all because I don't know what I'm going to come across. I think Melania Trump is just another immigrant who is doing a job most Americans don't want to do.
She's complicit. I have no sympathy for her.
No, he was saying,
I understand. Yes, I understand what the point is, but I don't like this not belittling. What do you call it?
Minimizing
Melania's complicity.
Now, let me say this while we're at it, because this is the kind of week that I've had, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to go back and read these emails, so stop me. I don't want to go into a rambling thing. Now, so Caitlin Clark, this is women's basketball, which has gotten huge, right? Big up to the girls, right?
Right.
Pulling in the money, pulling in the crowds. The game is very physical. So I read an article today about Caitlin Clark and, the referees not doing a good job of basically protecting her. There was one situation where Caitlin was defending the ball and somebody was, kind of like on her. She turned around and her hand hit their eye. That's the way they describe that. Anytime someone hits Caitlin Clark, they're described as being an aggressor.
Exactly.
Inevitably, it's a black person. So now there's a call for the referees to step up their game and raise their level of engagement to match the new women's basketball game. But that's what the article said. What the message that I actually read was, when white women are involved, we have to change the rules because we can't have white women getting jostled about and beaten about the head and shoulders. And that is a kind of been a theme with this new Trump wave, is that South Africans can come. It looks like that. South Africans can come because they can't withstand the abuse. And then I heard someone actually say with their mouth the other day that we have to have Mexicans work in the fields. Basically, this is what they communicated.
Yeah.
Because white people can't tolerate the sun. And I was like, where were they getting their fruits and vegetables and the cattle and they were eating, in England where there were no Mexicans? Like, people have been engaging in agriculture and horticulture for a couple thousand years.
Right.
And now you're saying that white people can't do the labor? Like, the racism that is like rearing its head in the midst of all of this. And people are literally writing these articles like you cannot read between the lines. Now, there's a certain number of people, in the biggest part of the bell, since that's what we're doing. We finna do this again. We just talk about biological fitness again. Okay. In the biggest part of the bell's curve, we have majority of people, who can't discern the truth, fact from fiction because they just didn't have a good education. Not their fault.
Right.
You got a few of the people who, with or without an education, can see right through the walls.
Yeah.
And then you have the people who look at this stuff and say, do you really think I believe that this has to do with, like, y'all are all of a sudden concerned about referees? You're dragging the referees now?
Yeah.
Because you can't get your girl to have her way?
And I'm sorry,
really?
but she's on a professional team now, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's the biggest name in the sport right now.
Yeah. So she's on a professional basketball team.
She's doing it.
And people are crying because she gets fouled. Hello.
She's the baddest woman in the land.
Yeah,
so
she
she's
ain't bad enough.
Fouled.
Yeah, she ain't bad enough if people are, oh, poor little Caitlin.
Yeah, this is a big game, and you become a rich person. And
right.
You get to have your cortisone shots and your wealth for the rest of your life. Okay.
All right.
Back to the emails. Good morning, Gonzo here. I would like to say more people affected by Trump. Protest is cathartic. Simply letting out a yell will make you feel better. You hear that, Wendy?
That's true, Wendy.
You can also make contact with people to organize action. And that's the other thing, Sue. If you're involved in any groups, let's organize. Yeah, let me just offer that PSA. Let's organize, right? Like, if whoever is inclined within the sound of my voice, if you have a group that you go to, a book club, a meetup, a dog park, find people of like mind. Talk to them. Some of these people may have voted, a certain way, and now they're on the fence.
Right.
And so it's our job to do the quiet organizing, not the arguing that you're going to have to do with your bestie or your new dog park friend close to the election. This is going to be just casual conversation.
This is just, planting seeds.
Every day, just planting seeds. Oh, didn't you tell me that you were a little bit worried about Medicare cuts because you take expensive medicines? And then go down that road with them.
Right.
Let's ease into this, right? We may be able to shave off, people like Wendy, right?
Yes.
May be able to shave off some more votes. Just help us out here, right?
And it's like if you're in a book club, pick a book that's pushing the envelope of quote unquote polite conversation. And then that way, everybody has to read it to discuss it.
Right. I mean, we're on the precipice. We're on the precipice of something big here. And I think it's going to take all those people, if I was an event organizer and I kind of chose not to get involved in that because I'm still traumatized from being But if I was an organizer, I would definitely have sent people home with a QR code or a small handbill about things they can continue to do outside of the protest environment.
Good idea, yeah. Let's talk to Jerry in Clearwater. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, this is Terry in Clearwater. How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
I'm having a great June 19th. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I just wanted to say two things. One, this bill that they're proposing that will destroy our state parks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Also enclosed in this bill, as you well know, is a major tax cut for the wealthy.
Of course.
Which amounts to $20,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. And the only real tragedy about the Trump parade, this is item 2, is that it didn't work out the way Sadat's military parade worked out. That is all I have to say.
Oh, wow. That was a deep cut. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry, so I'm going to try to go through these things. Trump messed up his own parade from David. David says, hey, Shirley's, great job with the show today. I thought this article on the inept planning and execution of the Trump Army parade was pretty funny. I guess this is what happens when you fire as much staff in the federal government through Doge BS. This is a great quote from the article. Doug Landry, the founder of 5013, a live event production firm, wrote in a thread on X that the parade was legitimately the worst executed mass attendance event I've ever seen. In another post, Landry blamed the event planners for providing maps to attendees that made no sense. But how is anyone supposed to know where to go? These maps are the sum total of what they put out, and they're total garbage, he wrote. How is a regular person supposed to figure this out? David, Mr. White Pepper Bryant, who does not cook.
Does not cook.
Yep. All right.
He actually has a show on Fridays, and we were teasing him last week. So
yeah, you should come over so we can cross-pollinate and send more of our listeners. They're kind of groovy. They would like his show. New text message. Israel is out of control. We have money to support them, but Social Security is going broke. Fun fact, they have universal health care. I got to read that again. Israel is out of control. We have money to support them, but Social Security is going broke. Fun fact, they have universal health care. All right. Laura said, mad as hell. Israel has free health care, universal health care, largely funded by U.S. They are committing war crimes and murdering children and families daily. How can the same Americans that agree with pro-life and cutting Medicaid and Medicare also justify the kind of support for a bully country like Israel? The outright hypocrisy is shameful. David says, David, did I get David?
You got David.
Okay. Yes, I did get David. The next one is Robert. Okay, we got that one. Marianne. Okay, Marianne tells us, hi, love your show. Listen weekly. Good Juneteenth to you both. I just happened across a Facebook page called Reflect Politics. It showed Senator Duckworth dressing down Hegseth with fact and venom. Also, another clip, I like that. Also, another clip showed Senator Carbajal doing the same thing to Hegseth. Remarkable. I think I messed that name up. Why don't we all see this in the news? Maybe the tactic ought to be not just to go after the felon Trump, but also to teach each one of his performance clowns daily and with fierce, venomous facts. I was at the protest Saturday on 66 and Tyrone. It was terrific, all caps. My son went to Tampa, and he was supercharged. Keep up the good work. Politeness is a tool of the patriarchy. She's quoting you, Liz.
Yes.
And that's what she said, yes. Marianne. Okay, thank you, Marianne. And keep listening. Tell your friends. What else you got, Liz?
I want to end out the Juneteenth show by paying tribute to Adriana Smith, who one of our callers referenced earlier. Adriana Smith was a registered nurse and a mother in Atlanta. And when she was pregnant with her second child, when she had a brain bleed, and she the hospital kept her on life support up until a few days ago, and her baby was delivered by C-section, and I imagine they're going to be taking her off life support anytime now if they haven't already. The baby is like 1 pound, 8 ounces or something like that. And so, yeah, what are the consequences now? Now, we're quote unquote.
No Medicaid for the baby.
No Medicaid for the baby. No assistance for the grandparents who have to raise the baby. Nothing. And this is all due in part or due solely to the Georgia 6-week abortion.
Well, speaking of Georgia, I got one more thing for the end. Someone in Georgia, an attorney in Georgia, wrote an article in News One, and it is about celebrating Juneteenth amid resurfacing fascism 160 years later. Check that article out. I'll post it on the Surly Voices page. It's by Anoa Changa. That's on News One.
Oh, Anoa. I love Anoa.
On News One, celebrating Juneteenth amid resurging fascism 160 years later. Check it out.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Please join us again next week. And in the meantime, stay surly and happy Juneteenth.